Is a female villain merely an antagonist, or is there much more beneath the surface? The evolution of female villains in video games challenges our perceptions and invites us to consider their complexities. Are these characters simply evil, or do they represent deeper narratives that resonate with players today? Historically, female villains were often reduced to one-dimensional characters, designed primarily as obstacles for male protagonists. Characters like the witch from Castle of Illusion epitomize this trope, serving more as a visual threat than a narrative force. Yet, what lies behind these surface-level portrayals? As gaming progressed, so did the portrayal of female villains, with characters like Lady Comstock from BioShock Infinite and Raven from Teen Titans demonstrating a shift towards deeper narratives. These characters brought emotional depth, revealing their motivations and tragic backstories. How did this transformation occur? In the 2000s, female villains began to showcase a wider range of emotions and motivations, as seen with characters like Vicky Vale in Batman Arkham Asylum. Her complex relationship with Batman illustrates that female villains can have multifaceted roles beyond simple antagonism, making them relatable to players. What does this say about gender representation in gaming? The rise of indie games further expanded the representation of female villains, with titles like Graveyard Keeper introducing characters like the Witch, who defies traditional roles. These games allowed for exploration of themes like redemption and revenge, adding layers to female antagonists. Are these nuanced portrayals a reflection of societal changes? In recent years, titles like Horizon Zero Dawn have redefined female villains, presenting characters like Sylens, who embody intelligence and cunning. This shift signifies a move towards celebrating female characters as formidable foes, showcasing their strengths rather than just their threats. What does this signify for future narratives? Another significant development is the emergence of empathetic antagonists, as seen with characters like Mystique in the X-Men games. Here, female villains are portrayed with personal stakes, leading to moral ambiguities that resonate with players, prompting us to question our understanding of good and evil. How does this challenge traditional narrative structures? Moreover, the incorporation of female villains into mainstream narratives has paved the way for discussions on female empowerment. Characters like Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn not only face female antagonists, but are often portrayed as equals, shifting the dynamics of power. What implications does this have for representation in gaming? While female villains have come a long way, the journey is not without its pitfalls. Stereotypes still linger, and some characters fall back into tropes that reduce them to mere archetypes. Titles like Dead or Alive have faced criticism for their portrayal of female characters, reminding us that progress can be uneven. How can we address these shortcomings? In analyzing the evolution of female villains, we must also consider the role of the player. As audiences become more vocal, developers are increasingly challenged to create nuanced characters, leading to richer narratives. This interaction between player expectations and character development is crucial for future gaming experiences. What do players want from female villains? The portrayal of female villains might also reflect wider societal issues, such as gender stereotypes and cultural narratives. Characters like Catwoman and Batman embody this complexity, representing both villainy and vulnerability. How can gaming narratives contribute to or challenge societal norms? As we examine the future, the potential for female villains to embody empowerment, intelligence, and depth is immense. Games like The Last of Us Part 2 provide a platform for exploring the darker aspects of humanity through complex female characters like Abby. What lessons can we learn from these narratives? In exploring the evolution of female villains, we uncover the layers of their narratives. These characters can serve as reflections of societal issues, challenge norms, and offer empowerment. Are they simply antagonists, or do they hold the potential to become protagonists in their own right? Ultimately, the evolution of female villains in gaming mirrors broader cultural shifts. As we challenge traditional gender roles and stereotypes, These characters can inspire new narratives that offer depth and complexity. The question remains, how will the next generation of female villains reshape the gaming landscape? The journey of female villains in gaming is far from over. As we continue to explore their complexities, we invite you to share your thoughts. Are there any female villains that have left a lasting impact on you? Your insights could shape future discussions in this evolving narrative landscape. In recent years, characters like Bayonetta have shattered traditional villain tropes, presenting powerful, multifaceted personas. Bayonetta's confident demeanor and combat prowess redefine what it means to be a female antagonist. Her character invites players to embrace complexity and challenge preconceived notions of femininity. This evolution reflects a broader trend in the industry, where female characters are not just adversaries, but protagonists in their own right. Similarly, Alex Vance from Half-Life Alyx presents an evolution in character depth, merging vulnerability with resilience. Unlike traditional villains, Alex is a hero navigating a world filled with danger and moral ambiguity. This nuanced portrayal encourages players to empathize rather than vilify, marking a significant shift in how female characters are perceived in gaming narratives. In contrast, characters like Mother Brain from Metroid challenge players with a cold, calculating presence. Though she embodies villainy, her role also reflects the fear of artificial intelligence and the unknown in gaming narratives. This character's motivations, rooted in control and dominance, provide insight into societal anxieties regarding technology and power. Then there's Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village, whose seductive charm masks her predatory nature. Lady Dimitrescu's character demonstrates how female villains can embody duality, capturing both allure and terror. This blend allows players to explore themes of power dynamics, attraction, and fear, making her one of the standout villains in recent gaming history. The rise of female villains is not just about breaking molds, but also about addressing deeper themes within the gaming world. Characters like Cersei Lannister from Game of Thrones: The Game illustrate how power corrupts, showcasing a woman's struggle for dominance in a male-dominated world. Her ruthless ambition evokes discussions on gender roles and morality in leadership. Furthermore, the character of Vicky Vale from Batman Arkham Knight highlights the complexities of media representation. Initially portrayed as a damsel in distress, she evolves into a more empowered figure who actively influences the story. This shift signifies a broader acceptance of female characters who are integral to the narrative rather than mere plot devices. The complexity of female villains is further exemplified in characters like Quiet from Metal Gear Solid 5. Her silence speaks volumes, representing themes of isolation and vulnerability. Quiet's unique design and backstory challenge players to reconsider the implications of a female character who is both objectified and revered, sparking conversations about gender and representation in gaming. Another notable example is Mistral from Metal Gear Solid 5, who defies traditional villain archetypes with her tragic backstory and emotional depth. Mistral's character is not just a foe. She embodies the consequences of conflict and exploitation, prompting players to reflect on the broader implications of war and its impact on individuals, regardless of gender. As we examine the narrative roles of these female villains, it becomes clear that they often serve as mirrors reflecting societal issues. Characters like Ursula from The Little Mermaid highlight themes of power and betrayal, using their villainy to reveal the complexities of desire and ambition. Ursula's allure allows players to confront their own moral choices, blurring the lines between hero and villain. Moreover, the evolution of female villains can be seen in titles like Horizon Zero Dawn, with characters like Silence who, while not a traditional villain, embodies the morally ambiguous nature of power. His motivations are shrouded in mystery, allowing players to engage with a character that challenges their perceptions of right and wrong, expanding the narrative scope for female representation. The shifting portrayal of female villains also intertwines with the increasing prominence of female gamers. As the audience diversifies, developers are recognizing the need for rich, relatable female characters. This shift not only enhances narrative depth, but also opens discussions around representation, allowing for stories that resonate with broader audiences. It is important to note that the portrayal of female villains is a double-edged sword. As these characters grow in complexity, the risk of stereotyping remains. Creators must balance empowerment with realism, ensuring that characters do not fall into harmful tropes that undermine their depth and individuality. The challenge lies in crafting narratives that celebrate rather than objectify. Characters like Harley Quinn emphasize this balance, embodying both empowerment and the struggle against a toxic relationship. While she has evolved into a symbol of independence, her origins as a sidekick highlight the complexities of character development and societal expectations. Harley's journey prompts discussions on how female villains can be redefining their narratives within the gaming landscape. Moreover, the rise of female villains in indie games showcases unique storytelling perspectives. Characters like Ailment from Ailment Substory highlight the personal struggles and motivations that drive these antagonists. Indie developers often infuse their narratives with authenticity, allowing for explorations of female villainy that resonate on a personal level, enriching the overall gaming experience. As we delve deeper into the evolution of female villains, the need for diverse narratives is increasingly evident. Characters like Malia from The Last of Us Part 2 challenge the archetype of revenge-driven villains by presenting a layered backstory that elicits empathy. This complexity not only enriches the narrative, but also reflects a more nuanced understanding of morality in gaming. It is essential to recognize that with greater complexity comes the potential for storytelling pitfalls. While female villains are evolving, there remains a fine line between empowerment and objectification. The portrayal of characters must continually challenge stereotypes while providing depth to ensure they resonate with players in meaningful ways. Looking ahead, the industry must strive to create female villains who are authentic, relatable, and deeply flawed. Characters like Margot from the Council challenge players to confront uncomfortable truths about power and morality. Margot's journey showcases the potential for female villains to lead conversations about ethical dilemmas in gaming, pushing narratives into uncharted territories. As we continue this exploration, the intersection of female villainy and cultural narratives becomes increasingly vital. Characters like Celine from Returnal embody themes of trauma and rebirth, pushing the boundaries of traditional storytelling. Her journey offers insights into the human condition, inviting players to reflect on their own experiences through the lens of a female antagonist. Additionally, the portrayal of female villains must remain grounded in authenticity to resonate with audiences. Characters like V from Cyberpunk 2077 showcase the importance of individual backstories, allowing players to connect with their struggles. V's character development highlights how personal experiences shape motivations, offering a fresh perspective on villainy. It's essential for the gaming industry to recognize the potential of female villains to drive narratives forward. Characters like Morgana from Persona 5 challenge players' perceptions of loyalty and betrayal. Morgana's layered personality prompts players to question their alliances, enriching the gaming experience with moral ambiguity and character depth. Moreover, the evolution of female villains can inspire future characters by drawing from real-world complexities. Characters like Sombra from Overwatch represent the intricacies of identity and belonging, encouraging players to explore themes of loyalty to oneself versus allegiance to groups. Sombra embodies the struggles of navigating societal expectations while asserting personal identity. As we analyze these characters, it's crucial to acknowledge the impact of cultural contexts on their development. Female villains often reflect societal attitudes, and their evolution mirrors changing norms. By understanding the cultural narratives behind these characters, players can appreciate the depth and richness they bring to gaming. Additionally, exploring the moral implications of female villains can reveal how these characters challenge or reinforce societal values. Characters like Ada Wong from Resident Evil highlight the tension between personal gain and altruism. Her motivations raise questions about loyalty, manipulation, and the moral gray areas that define her actions. The gaming landscape is enriched by female villains who defy conventions and embody the fluidity of morality. Characters like Delilah from Dishonored 2 demonstrate how villainy can stem from a place of trauma and loss. Delilah challenges players to empathize with her plight, adding layers to the narrative that reflect broader human experiences. In conclusion, the evolution of female villains is a testament to the gaming industry's growing awareness of representation. As more diverse narratives emerge, players are invited to engage with characters whose complexities reflect real-world issues. This shift not only enriches storytelling, but also empowers players to confront their own beliefs about morality and identity. The future of female villains in gaming holds immense potential. Characters will likely continue to evolve, reflecting the diverse experiences and challenges faced by women today. As developers craft narratives that celebrate complexity and depth, players will be able to explore new dimensions in villainy, revealing the intricate nature of human motivations. Lastly, as players, we must remain critical of the narratives we encounter. By engaging with the stories of female villains, we can foster discussions about representation, morality, and identity. The evolution of female villains in gaming invites us to reflect on our own values and beliefs, allowing for a richer gaming experience that transcends entertainment. Encouraging players to share their favorite female villains can lead to deeper conversations about representation in gaming. As we celebrate these characters, we can examine how they inspire us and challenge our views. By recognizing their complexity, we can continue to advocate for meaningful portrayals in the gaming industry. In upcoming discussions, we will delve into how the portrayal of female villains continues to evolve alongside player expectations. The dialogue around representation and character depth in gaming is ongoing, and your contributions can shape the narrative. Together, we can explore the layers and nuances of these characters in ways that enrich our understanding of gaming as an art form. As we move forward in this exploration of female villains in gaming, remember that your voice matters. Share your thoughts, experiences, and favorite characters in the comments below. Let's continue to champion narratives that empower and challenge the conventions within the gaming landscape. As we reflect on the journey of female villains, we find that their narratives often challenge traditional gender roles. Characters like Vas Montenegro from Far Cry 3 feat showcase how antagonism can be layered with psychological depth, inviting players to explore the motivations behind their actions. Villains aren't just obstacles, they're mirrors reflecting societal fears. Consider the transformation of characters like Catwoman in the Batman series. Initially depicted as a mere foil to Batman, her evolution into a complex anti-heroine illustrates the shifting narrative possibilities for female characters. This shift signifies a desire for deeper storytelling that resonates with players. In The Last of Us Part 2, we see Abby, a character who embodies both strength and vulnerability. Her journey forces players to confront their own biases about what it means to be a villain. This duality challenges us to empathize with those we initially view as antagonists, reshaping our understanding of morality in games. The portrayal of female villains in games like Overwatch also highlights the diversity of motivations. Characters like Widowmaker are driven by trauma and loss, revealing how personal experiences can lead to villainy. This nuanced portrayal encourages players to look beyond the surface and consider the stories behind their actions. As we analyze these evolving characters, it's crucial to recognize how they reflect societal changes. The rise of female villains coincides with a broader cultural shift towards recognizing women's agency in storytelling. These characters break free from stereotypes, embodying a more complex and realistic representation of women in media. Games like BioShock Infinite and the character of Comstock highlight how female villains can also be embodiments of systemic oppression. These narratives illuminate the societal structures that create villains, inviting players to question the morality of power dynamics. Are these characters merely villains, or are they products of their environments? Moreover, the use of female villains often serves as a critique of patriarchal structures within gaming narratives. Characters like Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village challenge traditional depictions of strength and femininity, allowing for a discussion on how these portrayals can empower or hinder women's representation in games. Furthermore, the emotional arcs of these female villains often resonate with players on a personal level. Their struggles and triumphs can mirror real-life experiences, creating bonds between players and characters. This connection can lead to a more profound understanding of the themes of loss, revenge, and redemption within gaming narratives. The complexity of female villains also raises important questions about representation in gaming. Are these characters designed to be relatable, or are they simply there to fulfill a narrative role? The answer lies in how developers choose to write their stories and how players choose to interpret them. As we explore the impact of female villains on gameplay, it's essential to highlight their roles as catalysts for change. Characters like Morgan Yu from Prey challenge players to rethink their moral compass, often forcing them to confront difficult decisions that spark meaningful dialogue about right and wrong. In games like Horizon Zero Dawn, the enigmatic nature of villains like Hades presents layers of philosophical questions about existence and purpose. The interplay between creator and creation in these narratives enriches the gaming experience, making us ponder the implications of technology and humanity. Moreover, the evolution of female villains has sparked conversations about allyship and solidarity among female characters. Titles like Final Fantasy VII Remake showcase how antagonists can also reflect the struggles of the protagonists, creating a shared narrative that fosters understanding rather than division. As we conclude this exploration, we must acknowledge the significant strides made in portraying female villains. Their complexity not only enhances storytelling, but also reflects our evolving societal values, making them integral to the gaming experience. This evolution paves the way for future narratives that embrace diversity and depth. Ultimately, the future of female villains in gaming is a narrative we all contribute to. As players and creators, we have the power to shape how these characters are perceived and developed. Let's continue to demand stories that challenge conventions and inspire growth within the gaming landscape. In reflecting on the evolution of female villains, we realize they are more than just antagonists. They are complex characters that challenge us to think critically about morality, power, and identity. Share your thoughts on which female villain has impacted you the most in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going and advocate for meaningful narratives in gaming.